Hey everyone, my name is Carson Miller and I make videos about drones and all other facets of technology. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is installing a Kia OEM hood deflector, otherwise known as a bug or stone deflector, onto the hood of my 2020 Kia Soul. Now this video should apply to any Kia Soul that is 2020 and newer, and if you happen to stumble across this video and don't know what a hood deflector is, let me explain really quickly. Essentially what it is a piece of plastic that goes on the front of your hood and deflects the airflow that usually would come up across your hood and across your windshield, and rather instead directs it up and over the top of your roof. What this does is makes it so any bugs that are flying towards your windshield or stones or debris or anything like that should go in that airflow and blast over the top of your roof rather than onto your windshield. So obviously this is very beneficial if you do a lot of driving, especially highway or longer drives where you'd typically see a lot of bugs slamming into your windshield. So this is very beneficial for those instances, and that's why I decided to purchase one myself. So with that said, let's get right into the quick and easy installation. So aside from the obvious need of the part itself, which in this instance is the K0F24-AU100, which is a mouthful to say, which you can pick up from a number of Kia parts sellers. Just make sure it's compatible with your model year. I got this from Tasca Parts. It arrived very quickly and it was the cheapest shipping as well as the lowest price that I could find. So that obviously may change. But aside from that, you will also need a screwdriver, which has a Phillips head bit. And you will also need some rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, as well as a non-abrasive cleaning cloth. Preferably you will want a microfiber cloth, but in my case, I don't have one right now. So I grabbed myself a cotton cleaning rag instead. But with that said, let me just show you really quickly what you get inside the box. It's not much, it's just the hood deflector itself. And with this hood deflector, you get a installation guide as well as the parts necessary for installation, and then the hood deflector itself, which comes in this massive packaging. It is a gloss black deflector, so if you're curious about what it will match on your vehicle, it should come as black. You shouldn't need this yourself because I'll be showing you how to do all of this in this video, but with that said, let's go and get the car prepped and get this installed. So the first step for install here is you're gonna wanna go and pop your hood so you can get to cleaning. You're gonna wanna start by making sure you clean along this entire top edge as well as the inner bottom edge along here, because you're gonna be placing little pieces of 3M tape to protect the paint from the clips onto the edges. So you're gonna need to make sure that that can stick. So go ahead and start cleaning everything. And then after that, we'll get to the next step. That's all from the top of the hood. And that's after cleaning everything. So obviously you're gonna need to make sure that you clean your hood. But also another thing I forgot to mention as far as things you will need is a non-permanent marker or writing utensil. In my case, I opted to get an Expo marker, and you will need this because you need to mark the positions of where those brackets are gonna be, so then you can put the tape on and get everything prepared. So with that in mind, lower down the hood, grab your hood deflector and kind of dryly place it onto the hood of where it's going to be placed. As you're doing this, you're gonna wanna make sure that you align this divot in the middle with the middle of your hood. And you can check this by lifting up your hood and simply making sure that that divot is lined up with this hole on the bottom of your hood. It's pretty easy to do. You will wanna make sure that this is overlapping the edge when you're doing this, because that's how it will inevitably be placed. So make sure you've done that. And after you've done that and everything is aligned, once again, make sure that center is aligned, you're gonna go and take your Expo marker and we're gonna start marking some spots on the bottom of the hood. The spots you're gonna mark are the holes on the deflector. You will see them, as you can see right now. These holes, you're gonna mark the centers of those onto the bottom of your hood. Doesn't have to be a big mark, just so you know where these holes are. Simply mark all 4 of those holes. After you've made those 4 marks, you're gonna wanna take your accessories installation bag and grab the bigger of the 2 3M sticker pieces. So there's the one with the large rectangles, and then there's the one with the smaller squares. You want the larger rectangles right now. Take off your hood deflector, set it aside. Now take these rectangle pieces and one at a time, place them centered on those marks that you just made. You're gonna wanna make sure that you leave about half of the sticker on the top of the hood and half of it on the bottom. So as you're doing this, you can go and, since it's dry erase, you can just simply erase your mark. After you're done, tuck it under, and there you go. This is what that should look like once it is on. And now just simply do that for the remaining 3. For this next step, you're gonna wanna grab the plastic screw clips, which are these white things right here. The 2 self-tapping screws that are in the kit, not the regular screws that look like this, the self-tapping ones that have these larger threads, and then the 2 largest brackets that come inside the kit. With these, first you're gonna wanna place the plastic screw clips into the holes right here and the hole right over here. Then take these 2 clips, run it like so. Make sure that they are resting on top of that 3M protective tape, or else you're gonna need to reposition it if it's not. Then go ahead and take your self-tapper screws, your screwdriver, and start screwing these brackets into place. After that, take your 2 smaller clips and place these onto the far left and far right sides of your hood. These ones fit much more snugly, so definitely make sure that they are positioned properly. And with that, we are almost done. Now just simply lower the hood, grab your hood deflector, and at this point, I would advise removing this plastic. With that removed now though, all you gotta do is carefully place your hood deflector down, centered, and if you did everything properly, you should see in all of the 4 holes the threads of those clips below. And with that in mind, take your accessories bag, and what you've got left is 4 more screws, 4 more washers, and 4 more square adhesive pieces. So simply take one of the washers and the screws, and starting from the middle, you are going to secure down the hood deflector. Now the manual does advise torquing these down to a certain Newton meters of force, but I do not have a torque measuring screwdriver or anything like that, so I'm just going to tighten them down to pretty decently hand tight, and you can do the same. And now the final step before we are completely done is to adhere the 3M square pieces beneath each of the rubber stoppers on the bottom half of the deflector. That just stops it from damaging the paint there, and these just stop it even more from doing so. So before you do that, of course, you're gonna need to do a little bit more cleaning to make sure that the areas where these are gonna be stuck down is clean. And with that done, simply just take the little square pieces, lift up the hood deflector, carefully place the square down onto the hood, secure it, and repeat times 4. And with that done, your vehicle now has a unibrow, which I get isn't everybody's cup of tea, but this will pay dividends towards not having to clean my windshield anymore, at least not nearly as much from all the bug guts that I get from driving back and forth on highways, which I'm very excited about. So I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks to let you know how this is doing in the long term. So as far as the performance of this hood deflector goes, I just went on a 50-mile drive, plus on top of that, this has been on for 5+ days now, so probably another 50-ish miles on top of that of daily driving. And in that 50-mile drive, I've only gotten 2 instances of bug guts on the windshield. Let me just show you really quick. So I've got one right up here. There's one there. And then there's another one over here. This one's a little bit bigger. Of course, it's not going to focus. But 2 instances in 50 miles of driving, plus even more than that. Like, I would expect on average, like 25 minimum bugs just splattered all over the windshield in that amount of drive. So I am very impressed with how this is doing so far. Obviously, I need to go on an even longer drive in order to get a real opinion of this long term, but I don't have any longer, like 100+ mile drives planned for quite some time, so that's not going to happen for some time. But so far, I am very impressed, and it does its job well enough that when it's raining, you can actually see the rain pellets just kind of shoot up, at least higher up on the windshield. If it's not, you know, completely over the roof, you can see it hit towards the top of your windshield, which is very interesting to witness as well. So with that said, very impressed with this so far. You get an A+ from me, Kia, for this so far. And with that said, I gotta say, I am very impressed with how easy the installation of this hood deflector was. In total, it took me probably 25 to 30 minutes, but that's because I was recording. If I wasn't recording, I feel like it would probably only take me 10 to 15 minutes in total. It's really not difficult at all. It doesn't involve drilling. It doesn't involve damage to the vehicle. And if you wish, you can remove this off of the vehicle at any point in time. And overall, I just think that it is worth it because the amount of times that I have to stop every couple hundred miles to clean off bug guts off of my windshield is now over. I'm very grateful for that. And although it does give it a little bit of a different look to the vehicle, I think that that is worth it. So with that said, if you would like to watch some other content that I've made about the 2020 Kia Soul, you can go and click that playlist up there to watch more content about it. Specifically, I've swapped out my halogen headlights to some LED headlights, which are much, much better, as well as swapped out the horn, which is wimpy out of the factory, to something that is much more reasonable for any average car that you can find out on the market. With that said, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to let me know by clicking the thumbs up button down below, as well as subscribing for future videos from me. Also, you can check out my last video by clicking right over there, or some random video by clicking right down there. And with that, that is it for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.